Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour. You know what? Where's Hawk at? Listener discretion advised. Pansies.
Welcome back to the Electro and Bono Movie Power Hour. I am Electro, and my trusty co-host Bono is actually not so trusty this week. He is out. He had, he was busy at work, so we're gonna keep it going because
we don't get paid for this yet.
Because we're in the middle of this series, so the show must go on. Ozzy, the producer, on the keys over there, joining me as always.
Yeah.
And we continue the series. And, well, Ozzy, you really wanted to watch Interstellar, right?
I hadn't seen it. I had heard of it. And then big shout out to Leah that used to do my social media for my other podcast, the Instagram podcast, available where all podcasts are downloadable.
Absolutely.
She reached out to me and she was like, have you fucking seen Interstellar? Like, that shit is amazing. Watch it. So I know she has good taste. So I was very curious at that point. So I saw it. I seen it.
Yeah, it was released in 2014. Of course, directed by Christopher Nolan. This is the first movie he made after he was done with the Batman movies too. So that's kind of interesting. He did movies in between the Batman movies. He did The Prestige and Inception, and then Interstellar after The Dark Knight Rises.
And I'm sure we'll get into it, but I mean, this was originally Steven Spielberg was attached to it,
right? Pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, and he dropped out because he's a punk bitch. But Jonah was the writer.
It was in 2012. What was Steven Spielberg directing around that time? What did he drop out?
He's just sitting on piles of money saying, you want me to fucking get off of this golden throne?
Good, dude. I still haven't even wasted my ET money.
Yeah. I haven't even got to Indiana Jones yet.
I don't need more of this shit.
No, it's got a great fucking story. Like, when I was doing my research, because obviously I love to fucking read and do my damn crazy notes or whatever. But when I was,
he did, real quick,
Bridge of Spies. Right?
And from 2011, he directed The Adventures of Tintin. He also directed War Horse, and in 2012 he directed Lincoln. So those would have been.
He wasn't doing shit. He isn't doing shit.
Yeah, and then before that, it was like Indiana Jones in 2008.
Well, because I read a fucking great article, like I was saying when I'm doing my research, Wrinkles in Space-Time, the warped astrophysics of Interstellar, and they get a little bit into how it got created, but it was Kip Thorne, the executive producer, who's an astrophysicist, dude got a Nobel Prize and shit, he's legit, but You
think he's smarter than Neil deGrasse Tyson, or...
I think so.
Yeah.
Only because it's so funny. I know obviously Neil deGrasse Tyson's super fucking smart or whatever, but the fact that he
fucks so much.
I hate
really
it. I just dislike it.
Dislikable.
I feel he's not that attractive, and he fucks way more than I ever will.
Out there, he's using astrology to do it. Not cool.
But he runs a planetarium. And I know, like, his whole thing, he's like a Bill Nye type. Like, he makes science accessible. But something about that, like, kind of softens the... Like, to me, a real scientist is just in a lab. You never heard of him.
Damn,
and
fucking...
He's got gray hair.
A fucking dig on Neil deGrasse Tyson here.
Well, no, and that's totally, like, my own... Obviously not real, That's not... That's my gatekeeping thing, Oh, the real scientists do this. Like, no, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he came out and has defended this movie a lot. Said, like, oh, this shit's right.
Well, he did that, what was that show that he did on Fox? That's how the most of the world got to know him, right?
Cosmos.
Yeah.
And check out, so here's this Cosmos connection. So Cosmos was originally done by Carl Sagan, the homie Carl Sagan. That dude, fuck, I love Carl Sagan. That guy's badass. I mean, he's passed away, but...
All right,
so anyway, Carl Sagan, 30 years before this, before 2012, so in the 80s, he introduces Kip Thorne, the executive producer, to a lady by the name of Linda Obst? Linda OBST. So Linda sets up Kip on a blind date, says y'all should meet up. I don't think they ended up together.
Probably
The article didn't
probably some
specify that.
handies, though, or something.
They stayed friends, so they friends with benefit sitch for sure.
Hopefully.
It was the 80s. They were probably all coked out. And Carl Sagan connect. They were doing like nerdy physicist orgies and shit.
That's how I want to picture.
Yeah. In my head, that's how it went down. Like, dude, you're gonna love how she fucks. So
She's a scientific method.
fuck yeah. She can bend space time if you know what I mean. That's the only thing she bends.
Oh no. It hurts.
So Linda and Kip were having a conversation, and they were like, dude, these black holes and wormholes are fucking weird. Like, shit just gets weird. Math gets fucking weird. Everything gets so fucky around them. Wouldn't it be cool to do a movie where we kind of portray these weird physics that happen there? So she was a Hollywood producer already. Somehow she's the one that got in connection with Steven Spielberg, and he was like, "Oh,
okay,
all right, I like that." So then they go out and they reach out to, I was gonna say Jonah Hill, but they reach out to Jonah Nolan, and they have him write the screenplay.
Jonah, what are you, friends with him?
Yeah.
Jonah? I'm not gonna say his full name.
Everywhere it says that they always either put his nickname in quotations or that's just how he's referred to.
Jonah.
And he's like, it's actually Jonah, but hit me up, dude.
Okay, whatever.
So Jonah, now I was gonna say Jonah Sagan.
Joey, let's call him Joey.
So Jonah Nolan writes the screenplay for it. He writes the screenplay for it. Spielberg drops out because he's gonna go do, what was he gonna go do?
Fucking Warhorse.
He was gonna do Bridge of Spice. He's like, I gotta go
Warhorse. Good job, Spielberg. And this would be the perfect movie for Spielberg to do too, because it's very 2001: A Space Odyssey. Stanley Kubrick was like boys with fucking Steven Spielberg, I believe.
Didn't Spielberg do Apollo 13?
No, that was Ron Howard.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But
Ron Howard, respect too.
Absolutely. Steven Spielberg directed Stanley Kubrick's last screenplay that he wrote. It was that movie Artificial Intelligence, I believe.
Oh, okay, so he did do a space movie.
So, I don't know.
Is that Robin Williams?
No, no. No, that's that shitty bicentennial.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking.
And I'm sorry that I know that.
And sorry, Robin Williams, you had to be in that.
I'm not the biggest Williams fan. Anyways, Spielberg backed out. So Joey Nolan.
Yeah, Jonah Nolan comes in, writes the screenplay. He says, I got this brother that he's pretty good at directing movies.
He just directed The Dark Knight Rises. He just did the 3 most successful Batman movies of all time.
Exactly. So he goes to him, and Nolan is the one that writes the whole rest of the actual story. Kip Thorne he definitely says, like, I just had this idea of how crazy shit happens around here. He's the one that put the whole other story together.
Do you know like how much of the Joey have written before? Like, what?
Nolan rewrote the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has no respect for Jonah, dude. Jonah just, again, from what I read, yeah, he took Jonah's screenplay and was like, great idea. Let me throw this away and start over so it's a sellable movie. Yeah. You piece of shit.
You're a little brother, you stupid fuck.
He grew up in Chicago. I grew up in London. I went to fucking private army school. I went to military school, you piece of shit.
You're a trash writer.
Yeah.
You need me to fucking make it better. Sorry, Joey Nolan.
But it's funny, but I actually got the opposite. I was like, dude, Nolan can't come up with any ideas on his own. But he's fucking really good at taking already their ideas and perfecting them into really nice stuff. Nolan, you're not that good.
How dare you? What was
Picture for Life?
Or his original shit was like Inception. That was all him. I don't think anybody helped him write that. That's pretty good. Yeah, he helped, but his brother helped him, I think, write most of the Batman movies, Memento, Interstellar, The Prestige. I think so, like half of them.
And that's probably the only ones that Christopher allowed him to get credit for. He's like, hey, don't get too much of a big head, dude. You get I'll give you money for it, but you ain't getting no written by.
Does Jonathan Nolan continue to write? Is he written more shit?
He's just too rich. Why? Why? When you're that?
Oh,
goddamn
he's a writer for Westworld.
that guy's fucking talented. That's a talented family. You got to take British people and Americans and they make fucking intelligent children. Well, anyway, actually, I'm noticing. I'm getting all excited about my notes here and shit. But let's talk a little about. Want to go over the plot real quick for any weirdos that haven't seen it, like myself a week ago?
Yeah, and also I hadn't seen this movie since it came out, like in 2014. So I only remembered like maybe 3 scenes.
And Damon's here at some point.
Yeah, Damon popped out. Spoilers.
Damon.
And
he lives on Hoth.
And I remember like liking this movie, but thinking, it was a little too long. It wasn't my favorite Nolan movie. And then rewatching it all these years later, I was like, holy shit, I like really fucking like this movie. So this stars Matthew McConaughey as your fucking beautiful white cowboy, space cowboy, right? You know?
He's like beyond bronze. He's really, the sun's bright as fuck.
Yeah, and he's just like the best father, I guess, too. He's just like, he's cool with his son. He's cool with his daughter.
Well, because he's a retired astronaut at this point, so he's been through some shit. So he's liking that he's on land and he's got his cornfield.
Yeah, he's got 2 beautiful children. His dad, is it his dad or is it his mom's?
It's his mom's dad. And see, this is where I love that this is where Nolan sets up the whole movie. He starts off with an alien, dude, a real life alien in the beginning. John Lithgow comes out. I'm like, that's how you fucking do it. You prep people with an alien at the very beginning.
You get 2 of the best old white men in this movie. You get both John Lithgow, fucking legend, and you get the other legend who's in basically every Christopher Nolan movie after Batman. Michael Caine himself. 2 of the best old whites.
Yeah, dude, Lithgow. That dude
John
is
Lithgow's
so
great.
good.
He's fucking great, man.
And he's great in this as usual. Yeah, he plays. Yeah, it's his father-in-law.
Yeah, and he's also just like a cool ass grandpa. You know, this family they just get along, and so
the earth is dying.
Yeah, so like plants aren't really growing anymore.
There's some blight that they never explain. That's one of the things that bugs me. You had 3 fucking hours. What is this? It's killing everything. Oh, it killed the wheat. Now it's killing the corn. It's like, dude, I grow plants. That's not how it works.
It will be okay in the year.
I'm talking shit.
In the year
2060. Another thing that bothered me, he was driving a Dodge. I don't know. Look around. How many Dodges do you see? Those fucking things are notorious rust buckets. That shit wouldn't last till 2060. I don't like that. I don't like that. That Dodge would have been done.
You, Dodge.
Look around. I know the guy that cleans up here has a Dodge, but he probably takes care of it.
This motherfucker's a farmer, dude. You think he doesn't know how to be a mechanic on his
and
fucking?
He's an astronaut.
He was gonna patch up the fucking tire when he was gonna have his child do it. It was like they already knew how to do it.
Yeah, that's probably why they put a Dodge there, because he's like, this motherfucker would keep this going. If there's one guy that would, this guy would keep it going for 40 years. Still look pretty good too.
Yeah. So there's a fuckload of dust. You know, all that there's left is corn, and that shit's gonna be gone soon too. So it's not looking good for the fucking world.
You know where Nolan got that inspiration?
Where?
He saw Ken Burns' Dust Bowl documentary.
Really?
Yeah. That's where he gets the whole dust idea and all that. Ken Burns. Love Ken Burns.
Okay. Good to know.
We're going to watch Ken Burns' jazz after this.
Yeah. So the world's ending, and then so all this, they have these crazy dust storms that come along. The daughter, she's like getting in trouble in school. I like the fake history that they have here. Like they don't.
Yeah, they're like, we never landed on the moon. Kubrick was right. He's the one that did it.
Yeah,
the Russians ruled.
Yeah, and so he goes in for that parent-teacher conference, you know, and they're like, dude, she's over here preaching the gospel of Neil.
And her name is Murph. She's named after Murphy's Law,
which is a kind of a messed up. I guess it's not.
She says that, but he tries to explain.
Yeah,
anything that can happen will happen. It doesn't necessarily, not just bad things.
Right.
Anything is possible in a sense.
That made me think. I didn't even Google it or anything, but I always heard that it was what can go wrong will go wrong. Is that the way it goes, or is it can happen will happen, and then we're just
After
cynical.
hearing that, I think, yeah, that's right.
And then we're just like evil bastards that changed it to that.
We always do that. We always, like, a cop goes rogue and shit, and people are just like, it's just one bad apple. It's just one bad apple. But it's like, yeah, the full saying is one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. Like, yeah, you can't just, you fucking ruined it. But anyway, Murph is a bad student.
She's not a bad student, but she preaches the word of Neil, and then she clocked a girl in the face for for fucking disparaging the great Neil Armstrong or something. And I really like that scene where he goes to, and then they're like, so what are you gonna do about this? And he was just like, oh yeah, she's getting into baseball, and there's gonna be like soda and popcorn. And it's like, I think I'm gonna take her to that. And then they're all like, oh fuck, you know.
And they go see the Yankees. They go see the New York Yankees, the actual New York Yankees, but it's like 17-year-olds that don't know how to play baseball.
Yeah.
And there's like 30 people there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let me just wrote like the whole thing, because we'll get into the cool parts and the good scenes. So that's what it is. The Earth is essentially dying.
Right.
McConaughey is an astronaut that gets brought out of retirement that has to go explore 3 fucking planets there's 12 planets that have come across a wormhole, or that are on the other side of a wormhole that's been created next to Saturn.
Yeah.
And scientists are like, holy fuck, if we get through this wormhole, maybe we could find a planet that's habitable, because whoever these people are that put that wormhole there want to help us. So one of these planets might be livable. Let's send somebody there, and whoever says they got a cool livable planet, they'll send us a message, and we'll take people over there. We'll leave all the Mexicans behind, and that's win-win.
Make them build the ships.
Yeah. And then it's, sorry, no more room. No mas, no hombres.
No hombres.
And yeah, so that's the goal. Is Michael Caine is going to do some math that's going to save humanity.
He has to solve an equation to get like the majority of people to leave the world.
They're trying to figure out gravity. They all keep saying that. I don't know what the fuck that means. I know gravity, that it's a thing.
Yeah.
You got to figure out gravity.
The gravity
Explain
equation.
what that means.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, like
You have 3 hours. Give me 2 minutes of explain what the fuck that means.
No, so much happens in this movie.
Well, yeah, so that's the big thing. Is humanity needs to leave Earth. There's 12 potential places. We sell 12 scientists. 3 of them send things back that might be good. Yeah. So we got to get McConaughey in his Lincoln spaceship.
And the rest of them have been left to die.
Yeah. Sorry. That kind of shows this isn't all about like saving everybody. People are going to die.
Yes.
And
once we get into it. Yeah.
So that's the gist of it. Mm-hmm. So let's go back we'll get back now to the baseball.
To the baseball.
Yeah,
so
watching the baseball.
Well, so then there's this giant dust storm, and then
scary as fuck.
And then Murph has been complaining about a ghost that her books get dropped from her bookshelf a lot. So she is like, there's a ghost in my room, and then they go in with the dust storm, and there's like a bunch of like dust fell in a weird pattern on her floor.
Looks like lines of coke almost.
Mm-hmm, like sweet lines.
So this ghost likes to party.
Yeah, this ghost.
Got the ghost of Rick James in this house.
Fuck yeah. And then so they crack the code and they figure out that it's coordinates. And they go off on this journey. And they find out that it's fucking NASA. They find fucking NASA, bro. That's
underground. One of the stupid parts of the movie.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's all. NASA's secret underground headquarters is 20 miles away from where you are. That means there's got to be a NASA secret underground headquarters somewhere around here.
There could be very
just in
easily.
Case they are ready.
It seemed like if McConaughey
a bit silly.
Was already a fighter. I'm not a fighter. A space fucking pilot.
Okay, he probably retired in the area.
He was around the area where it was. Right?
Okay, I'll allow it.
And then Michael Caine's character was like a professor he knew, so it was around that fucking area.
I'll allow it. Okay.
They just thought that it was done because they also talk about other shit like that went extinct. Right? I can't remember what, but they talk about like
the wheat,
but like other like just regular
potatoes. Potatoes don't make it either. I remember that because I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like the Irish? Because, anyway. The Irish grew only one variety of potato. That's why they are fucking.
Yeah, but the world's been fucked for a while. Or I think they talk about like the police or the military. They say how we don't need the military. There's no more military because basically everything's fucked. Like everybody's dying. There's nothing growing. There's no military. There's no money for military or whatever.
The government's lying to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wouldn't think there's no fucking military. It's like, yeah, probably NASA's done too. But no, the fucking coke lines that the ghost left behind.
Coordinates.
They fucking lead them to fucking NASA, and then fucking Anne Hathaway, who's a fucking bitch in this movie.
One of the worst haircuts.
Right? Anne Hathaway's like a super cutie, and why do they give her that messed up haircut?
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that pixie cut, but
No.
even just the way it just wasn't done right. Like,
Yeah.
she's hot. Like, it didn't fit her head. Like, you can pull it off.
Yeah, you're right, An astronaut wouldn't give a fuck what her hair would look like. Maybe that's what they were going
Yeah,
for.
I guess. But
She doesn't have time to be doing her hair. They're going through the space expedition, so she's like, you know what? Give me the old fucking Dennis the Menace.
yeah, so he shows up. Well, again, he shows up. He leaves. So McConaughey, what the hell's the character's name?
I don't know.
So all right. It's like, this is binary. This dust is landing in a binary code, and this binary code is giving me these coordinates. Oh, these coordinates are like 20 miles away.
Mhm. His name's Cooper.
Oh, yeah, Cooper. And it also bugs me that, dude, so they start driving, and then it gets dark by the time they're getting there. So I'm like, you're going somewhere where you have to assume you're going to spend the night.
It looks like they took sleeping bags and shit.
Did they? I didn't pay attention to
I
that.
don't know.
I was trying to
the
pay it, and I
guy.
was like, he has no supplies. He just takes his daughter. He leaves his son to the wolves.
He didn't mean to take his daughter. She
Did.
in.
Oh, yeah, she did
snuck
hide.
in, and she hid under blankets, so he at least had like blankets and shit.
She probably took some of the supplies out to hide under there. Kids are stupid like that.
Well, luckily it worked out because they ended up at NASA.
Yeah, they end up at this gate. They don't get shot because they're white. And
I think does McConaughey get tased? He gets like tased or something. They don't show it, but I think you hear like a bzzz.
yeah, it seems like everything's cool. Like, okay, they're not going to shoot him or anything. And then, he gets tased. They grab the girl. He wakes up and he's like, where's Murph?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, can you guarantee that you're not going to murder us? Like, if we tell you what we know? And they start laughing. And they're like, bro, we're NASA.
That's funny. And that's really cool, too. Like, yeah, if you haven't seen it, because you don't know what it is. And it's like, oh, it's NASA? Like, that's awesome. And then at first I was like, oh, fuck, is NASA just
gone rogue.
A boardroom? They just have like a conference room. Is that NASA? They're like, yeah, well, the stars used to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But no, they have like
Killing is fun.
but they have this like really awesome like underground fucking facility, and they're doing rockets real well and shit. They got a fucking space shuttle, but they're down to the bare minimum, right? They're now constructing what they think is gonna be what's gonna save the species.
Yeah, this is the last ditch type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Michael Caine comes in, who used to be Cooper's boss or professor, mentor.
Something.
So he's like, hey, Chief, what the fuck is all this, dog?
Oh, and he's also Anne Hathaway's father.
Yeah, do they say that directly in this scene?
I don't know.
Or does it come later? But
Oh, yeah, because her name is Dr. What is it?
Quinn?
Dr. Quinn?
She's a medicine woman of some kind.
Dr. Brand. And then Matthew McConaughey
okay.
is just like, oh,
Y'all fucking?
It's like, I used to know a Dr. Brand, and it turns out to be Michael Caine. That's her
Yeah.
father. So it was also Alfred, and she was fucking Selena Kyle. So, I mean,
Man, these people, they're like, it's like an inbred relationship. All these directors, they just recycle the same 25 actors.
Oh, absolutely.
Even extras.
Mhm.
I want to be number 26.
Mhm.
Jonah. Let me in, bro.
Yeah.
So they're in the boardroom.
Oh, right.
They show them the big rocket. It's like a Friday night with me and the ladies.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, you want to go in the cave and
Yeah.
see my rocket?
Yeah.
And they say, no, leave, you creep. And then tears.
So they show him the thing, and they're like, dude, we need you to drive it. And he's just like, what? They explain him the deal, right? They're like,
Do I look like Will Smith in Independence Day? Just flying out to space like that?
yeah, I don't have a stripper girlfriend.
Yeah. Where's Goldblum? problem?
Bring him here.
Yeah. No more whoops.
No more whoops.
I can love that. He's so good in there. He's got the cigars and everything. Goldblum's so dope.
Yeah, he should have been in this movie for a little bit. Come on, little Goldblum cameo.
Boom it.
So then they basically like, yeah, you have to make a decision whether you're gonna go off and pilot this spaceship to visit these 3 worlds, and they're taking with them like a bunch of.
So there's 2 plans. One plan is you're gonna go in there. You're gonna one of the planets is gonna be habitable. You're gonna fucking shoot us the DM. It's cool. Slide through, kick it, as some would say. And then we're gonna jump on spaceships. We're gonna go through the hole. We're gonna go to the new planet. We're gonna start fucking.
Yeah, damn.
Or plan B, we can't take anybody else there, so we're just gonna have 5,000 embryos, I think,
right?
Something like that, some kind of like Matrix type situation. And Hathaway and McConaughey are gonna raise them.
Real like
That's
Adam and Eve.
That's
situation.
a lot of kids.
I was thinking
her tits are gonna be
for
so
me,
worn out.
What I was thinking, I was gonna be like, look, there's 3 guys, there's one Hathaway. They're gonna all have.
I would think you would have to do that at least for genetic diversity, right?
It's like, look, you need to have one of each of our babies.
Like you can't kill the black guy because we need to keep the black people around. So he lives.
You should probably make like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. Start there.
Try to cross your fingers. Try to make twins, huh? Try to make.
Yeah,
twins.
that would conserve energy. Then you get with McConaughey because you need 2 hot people. They would just make.
We're
more
gonna need
hotness.
farmers.
Yeah.
So
So that's the plan. Coops has to drive it. Brand is giving up his daughter. He's like, I don't really like this chick. And then you got a couple more people, and then you got. Dude, my favorite character is the fucking robots.
Yeah.
Tarzan Case, baby. You got Tarzan Case, who are, I love how they're presented. You could have gone with the hardcore digital shit, it's 2014. You could make something look really nice,
Right.
Or you could just go with somebody in a puppet suit and then also make that look really nice, which is kind of what they did. But it was these rectangles. And these rectangles that could divide into 3s, and those could divide into 3s, and those could divide into 3s. So you can make like an infinitely movable character from 4 rectangles. It's amazing.
It doesn't seem like that would make fucking sense, right? That shouldn't be.
Yeah, if you see diagrams of it, it makes so much more sense because that's basically what it is. Every section is divided in 3s, and it keeps going smaller and smaller and smaller. So theoretically, he can keep doing that till like a little finger comes out.
What?
A little fingy.
What?
Yeah, he's it's insane. Again, the fucking science that went into this whole fucking movie is crazy.
Oh yeah, and it also makes for some of the most beautiful fucking scenes ever put in fucking cinema, to be straight up, man. And some of the space in this movie, I mean, you could obviously you got to compare this movie to 2001 Space Odyssey. I know you haven't seen it, Ozzy, but a lot of big space wide scenes. You see ships, you see planets, you see stuff like that. So this is basically like, I mean, and 2001 looks good, but it's done like with models and all practical effects. Obviously, this has a lot of CG, but it's also done practically too. It's a combination of the 2 things. But obviously, like when you get to wormholes and shit, there's nothing practical about that.
Well, dude, let me go into that a little bit because, again, this article I read, that shit it wasn't only really visually stunning, it was scientifically groundbreaking. So that version of a black hole that you see, that simulation of the black hole that you see in Interstellar, when that came out in 2014, that was the most accurate simulation of a black hole ever. Right. Not in that Hollywood had created or that scientists had, like ever in the history of humanity. That was the most accurate representation. And it took 30 people 1 fucking year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To do that shit. Dude, 1 year. So it was this dude named Paul Franklin that did all this shit. So Christopher Nolan realized I need I need someone that, like, I need to show the fucking black hole. Like, this has to be done. It has to be done right.
Mm-hmm.
He reaches out to this dude called Paul Franklin, who works for an effects house called Double Negative. And Double Negative, you can basically just say a movie, and they've worked on it.
Yeah.
It's that insane. Like, movies that you didn't even think had special effects.
Right.
Just, you could just name a movie, and it's insane what they've done. So these fucking dudes know their shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they reach out to Kip Thorne, and they're like, bro, like, you need to give us some math. Like, we need to know the math involved in what a black hole is.
Yeah.
So Kip Thorne literally wrote like a research paper for them, essentially, with this math of like, look, this is what we know about wormholes and black holes. And so he sent that fucking research over to Franklin and his team at Double Negative, and they wrote fucking rendering software. They coded software with that math built into it to make this fucking representation of the worm. They started with a wormhole.
Yeah.
Because that was easier, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But, and so, yeah, so it fucking worked. Their software worked. So then they tried it with the black hole, but it was completely new math. So they did that shit all over again and created a separate one, a separate fucking software. They wrote another piece of rendering software, coded another piece of rendering software for the fucking black hole.
Yeah. And the result of all that shit is truly fucking beautiful to see.
Amazing.
To see it all, like, if you got a big TV, you got, like, you know, the fucking 4K on deck. That shit looks fucking amazing. And yeah, it's one of the most beautiful shots. Even before that, when it did show like the shot of like fucking Saturn, it's just like, fuck, that looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, well, some of those frames, and I mean, it's interesting to me because for this show, we render our audio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we create raw audio and then render it down to a fucking final product. If it takes us the same amount of time, so if we have a 1 hour show and it takes 1 hour to render, that's absolutely super long. Something's wrong. That's how long it used to take when I used to use the 10-year-old computer that was all falling apart and shit.
Right.
So some of these frames, individual frame, took 100 hours to render. One fucking frame. This film is shot in 24 frames per second. 1 second of that shot took 2,400 hours. So that's over 3 months.
That's insanity.
For 1 second. For 1 fucking second, dude. The final film ended up being just under 800 terabytes.
Wow.
In size. Yeah, they were like, we thought we were going to go to a petaflop, which is the next.
I was about to ask, is there more than a terabyte? What is it called? A petaflop?
A petaflop, yeah.
Who named that?
That they just keep
Bad
going.
job, whoever named a petaflop?
Yeah, which is
That sounds illegal, guys. That sounds illegal.
1,000 terabytes is a petaflop.
That sounds illegal.
Well, that's why they didn't go there. Like, we're stopping at 800. We didn't even try.
We're not going for that peta, okay? Jesus. Well, fuck. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. But the thing is, black holes aren't necessarily black, as weird as that sounds.
Right.
And also, they're not circles. That was the big thing. As Nolan was like, "Fuck, dude, it keeps." They all look like circles, but they're not circles. There's spheres in space-time that warp space-time, so you can essentially go all the way around a black hole. So usually they're represented like just like a two-dimensional, like a hole in a, like if you were to stab paper with a pencil. But that's not what it is. It's like it's a ball floating within the paper.
Whoa,
dude, it's fucking amazing. Yeah. So he was like, how the fuck can we represent, like, it? We need to be able to show that. So there's black holes bend light around them. So around a black hole is actually a ring of light, kind of like Saturn's rings. I mean, but Saturn's rings are made out of ice and rock.
Of course.
But the rings or the light around a black hole is made out of light. literally, that's being sucked into it. So
It's insanity.
So these fucking people, again, this artist, Von Tunzelman, she was like, okay, well, what if we take the software that makes this disc and put it on top of this sphere black hole software that we have, and let's see what happens. And it created that look that you get where the light is going around. Like, you can see that it's a sphere.
Mm-hmm.
It made that, and they were like, ah, fuck, it didn't work. Like, this is not what's supposed to happen.
Right.
But Kip Thorne, the astrophysicist, was like, that's actually exactly what's supposed to happen. Like, my math says that that's what would happen. Mm-hmm. That's the visual representation of what my math said should happen. So you're not mistaken. That's actually right. That's the first time humanity has ever seen that.
That's fucking groundbreaking.
And that was a and that was a simulation at that point. But in 2019, so 2 years ago, we again, NASA and other fucking space agencies around the world finally took a picture of what's called the event horizon, which is the edge of a black hole that has this accretion ring that's called.
And go back and check out that Event Horizon episode, guys. That we did for the Spooktacular. It also has the exact same explanation for like warping through time is in this movie and an Event Horizon. They picture it as poking a hole through a piece of folded paper.
Yeah, it's so nuts, dude. Space time. Well, because then eventually they talk about the fifth dimension. Because there's 4 dimensions,
Yes.
But there's potentially a fifth one and even more, and that should, I don't know. It's just so fucking crazy.
It gets nutty.
Yeah, but anyway, the last thing I'll say is in 2019, we finally were able to get an actual picture of the event horizon, and it looked exactly like double negative simulation had predicted. It's fucking mind-blowing. A fucking movie did that 5 years before we saw that.
Well, fucking Christopher Nolan, buddy. If he hadn't pushed for that, that wouldn't have happened, right? like
no, yeah, that's what Kip Thorne said. Is it was Nolan wanted to, like, it has to look right. He
got the people that would give him, like, to tell him how it would look like, and he made it that way.
Yeah.
Instead of, I also saw like thing where he was saying like that he didn't want it to be like future technology. He was just like, no, I didn't want to like have like, this technology that we don't have right now, like fucking whatever, holograms or fucking shit, crazy shit like that, technology that doesn't exist. It's like he wanted to do it all with like, technology we have now, like supposedly if it was possible. This is how they would fucking try to do it and shit. That's pretty cool right there too.
And they did try to do it.
You don't fucking take like that shortcut saying like, oh yeah, we made like a special ship to go through like fucking Event Horizon or special black hole ship.
Well, one of the things actually that they did add Gargantua, that's what the black hole is called.
Right.
They did create it that size because when Nolan created the story, he's like, time has to move differently for different characters. So he told Kip Thorne, like, what the fuck can I do to, like, do that but be realistic? And Kip Thorne was like, well, if there was a black hole this size spinning close to the speed of light, then the closer you get to it, it's crazy. Like, the closer you get to the speed of light, the faster your time goes or some shit like that. Really? So that's like so he said, okay, cool. So if this solar system or whatever, this area had a black hole that was this size spinning at this speed, then technically the closer you would get, people would have different perceptions of time.
Right.
So all that shit is theoretically possible. It's fucking, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a mind fuck. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
So eventually, yeah, when they go through this black hole, and also McConaughey leaves Murph behind. Really heartbreaking fucking scene where
she does not take it.
She does not take it well.
Because she finds out the code. One of the codes from the ghost says stay.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, come on, man. It's the universe telling you to stay.
Yeah, and then he's like all holding her, and she's like all telling him to fuck off, and he's just like, dude, don't make me leave like this. Like, you're gonna make me leave like this. I'm probably gonna be gone for like.
That's a pretty cunty move on her part. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and he basically tells her like, dude, by the time I come back, like we might be the same age and shit. And she's just like,
Fucking
whoa,
liar.
and she's just like, whoa, like you're telling me you're gonna be gone for that fucking long? And he's like, well, fuck, like probably.
It's gonna be like 2 years for me, but it's like 1 million for you.
Yeah. And then so yeah, she's a little cunt about it, but he goes off. And then so when they get to this planet, this first planet, it's like super close to the fucking to the gargantua.
Gargantua, yeah.
Yeah. It's like really close.
Time's
like,
all fucked
like
up.
it's right there basically, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, let's go there. Yeah.
Go to that one first.
Yeah,
That could fuck up time the most.
It's like, no, why would you go? I saw like an interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's all like, if I was like traveling the fucking galaxies, like, and I saw a black hole, like, you go the fucking opposite direction. You do not want to go towards a black hole.
But I mean, this was kind of a last ditch effort.
Right.
We're probably going to be there for a couple hundred years or thousands, whatever, to try to figure out the next move.
Yeah. So anyway,
Like this party blows.
they do the math, they crunch the numbers, and they're like, okay, this planet, what is it? 1 hour of their time is going to be 7 years, or 1 hour in that planet is going to be 7 years of their lives in like Earth,
Right above it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even floating above it, apparently.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that's
how close it is to this fucking black hole.
Yeah. So fucking they're like, what? And they still come up with this half-ass plan. They're like, all right, fine. We're just going to go in and out. We're going to pick up the scientist that's there. She's going to give us the data, and then we'll figure it out. And they're like, maybe we'll be gone for fucking 2 years.
Well, because they knew that one had water, right, at least?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It had water. And the scientists had also that got there had given them the thumbs up.
Yeah, yeah, water here. It's warm, cool,
whatever. Yeah,
nice mountains.
Yeah. So they get down there and it's all water, and they're hitting homeboy. It's like, what the hell? This is all water. We can't fucking live here.
Why did they just land? Like they assumed it wasn't deep, or they
somehow
they felt it wasn't deep.
I don't know. Maybe they fucking crunched those numbers too. I don't know.
Well, I know like planes have that little thing, like a little radar that shoots down so they can. This is how high you are.
Maybe the scientist that landed there first was just like, oh, you could just totally.
Yeah, it's like a foot deep. It's cool.
Yeah, totally land here, guys.
Don't protect the engines. It's fine.
Yeah. So they get there, then they can't find her. Oh, also the actor Wes Bentley's in this movie, and he's the other fucking guy, the guy from American Beauty, the weird guy from American Beauty's in this movie.
No one gives a shit about him in this movie.
No one does. And yeah, he's very disposable. Might as well not be in this movie.
I don't know why he was there. They just needed somebody to kill him. Like, we can't do the black guy first anymore.
Yeah. And then his death is so like, it just kind of happens really quick. Blinking, you miss.
I don't even think they're sad about it.
Yeah, there's like a brief moment where Anne Hathaway's like, wait, you just left him to die. And then like a wave hits them. They're like, ah. And I think that was like, yeah. But, yeah, so fucking, this is where Anne Hathaway just ruins everything. She fucks everything up. Because they're searching for the scientist, which they kind of find out is dead because they're finding pieces of her ship.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, well, let's get the fucking recorder or whatever.
Let's get the black box out of this shit.
Mm-hmm. And then so she runs and gets it. And at this point, McConaughey realizes that there's a fucking like super crazy wave, like
so-
unreasonably tall.
So what looked like a mountain range in the distance is
Yeah.
actually a giant wave caused by the black hole
Yeah.
coming at them.
Which is amazing when you think about that, right? It's just because the fucking gravity is so different there. That's why time is so different there, and that just makes giant waves that are just going to keep coming. Like, yeah, there's no way anyone's going to live there.
Because they first noticed them going away.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, that one's just passed. And then they're like, wait, but doesn't that mean? And they look back, and sure enough.
Well, McConaughey looks back, and he's like, shit. And he's like, get back to the ship, Catwoman. And she's just like, wait.
Get to the chopper!
Yeah. And then, but, she fucks up. She drops something on her leg. She's weak.
She totally fucking bookshelves herself from what the fuck was the Night of the Living Dead or whatever.
Exactly. Oh, Evil Dead. Yeah.
Evil Dead. She totally fucking. What the fuck's that dude's name?
Ash. Yeah.
Yeah, she totally ashes herself.
Yeah, it just throws the bookshelf on top of herself. And then she just gets stuck there. And she's like, leave me. And then, of course, they don't leave her. They sent the fucking badass robot to go get her.
I never got why that was like a thing. Immediately be like, robot, go.
Yeah.
Sacrifice yourself, bro.
You're right. And then that robot's so fast that she actually gets there before fucking Wes Bentley. That's why he fucking goes.
He looks back like fucking Sodom and Gomorrah. Who's that lady that Lot's? No, it wasn't Lot's wife. Whoever.
I don't know. Yeah.
She looked back at it and turned into a pillar of salt.
Yeah, she fucked
Said he
up.
died.
Yeah, you're right. Oh fuck, this is kind of biblical.
Yeah.
fucking
The Lord had a fucking. The Lord's always there.
Yeah, well, he fucked up too, because like, okay, let's say Anne Hathaway is stuck there. All right, she's stuck there, dude. Get out of there. Why are you waiting there?
Back in 7 years.
What are you waiting there for, dude? You get to the safety. You didn't fuck up. Go, not drown, buddy. You could have helped later in the movie.
I felt that because they kind of implied that Cooper went through a traumatic thing while he was an astronaut in previous.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't gonna leave my crew behind. Not after that first time.
Right. Oh, okay. So then, yeah, so Wes Bentley fucking dies, and then the ship goes through this fucking crazy wave that definitely should have obliterated this ship, right? It is made out of indestructible fucking metals.
I know spaceships are built pretty tough, but it's just not made to rock around on a ocean.
This is the most, not even an ocean, the most giant wave you could ever imagine, like way beyond.
Yeah.
A tsunami you can imagine here.
We live by the coast. Like, we know how powerful water is.
Like, yeah.
That boat would have been fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Boats that are made to float on water get fucked up all the time.
Yeah. And then so they go through this fucking crazy wave, and then now their ship's all fucking wet. And then the robot tells them, like, yeah, it's going to be like 45 minutes to an hour before fucking the ship drains to the point where we could drive off. And then McConaughey's just like, you stupid bitch. Like, why the fuck didn't you come back to the ship when I told you to come back? And she was like, I was following the mission. He was just like, bro, you just fucking cost it. Like, how much did you just cost us? She's just like, decades. It's like, no. Like, dude.
And she must know at this point that he left his kids.
Yeah, she's aware. Yeah, he met his daughter. So yeah, he knows that. So yeah, and she throws that in his face all the time. She's like, you were just trying to like take off so you could get back to your kids. Like, I was trying to fucking get the mission done and shit. And he was just like, you dumb bitch. Like, tell you to come back. And then at the end, they didn't even end up getting it, right? Like, they didn't get it. She just went, got trapped, and got saved, and she didn't end up getting it.
No, she did not get the data.
And then they get back up there because the other guy,
Romilly,
they tell him, like, we're probably gonna be like 2 years. You should go to sleep. And he's just like, if it's 2 years, like, I'd like to like
figure out gravity.
Yeah,
again,
like,
whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, or like, yeah. Also do observations from like the planet or whatever, and learn what he could from the black hole and shit.
And masturbate a lot
Probably.
in another galaxy.
I could really use some alone time.
Yeah.
I've been hanging out with you guys this whole time.
Hey, Case, how narrow can you get your fucking fingers there?
Yeah, so they get back up to the ship, and this dude's like old, and then they're like, fuck, like, how long has it been? And he's just like 27 years or 23 years, or is it 27?
He says 23. Yeah,
23. Yeah, I don't know why I said 27. But 23 years. So he's like, oh shit. And then he tells him like, yeah,
it looks like LeVar Burton all of a sudden, dude. It's crazy.
And he tells them like, you guys have 23 years of messages from your families. Like we can't. He's like, somehow, like when we passed the wormhole, like we could still receive messages, but our messages aren't going out. So his family has been sending him messages for
one person.
Well, one person. You're right.
The son he doesn't give a fuck about.
All of a sudden, Casey Affleck,
the worst of the Afflecks.
No, Casey Affleck's good, dude.
I was like, why does this guy look like a melted Ben Affleck? And I was like, oh no, it's Casey. He wasn't looking his best, man.
Well, he doesn't look good, and like then
it's not supposed to. I guess.
Yeah, these motherfuckers. He's method, dog. He's method, bro.
He didn't look good, which again, all right, I'll give it. He's not supposed to look good.
Yeah, I thought he was great in this movie.
He did. He was amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely the better actor when it comes to the Afflecks.
The parents are like, "Fuck, dude, why did one get the looks and one got the talent? Could it both of them? Both of them would have got one and supported everybody else. He would have been amazing."
Yeah, but so he sees, he gets there and starts watching the videos, and he sees his son now. Casey Affleck has a baby, so he finds out he's a fucking grandpa. And then like the next video, the fucking kid's already he's got another kid, and one kid's fucking dead and shit.
Well, and then Lithgow dies at some point.
All right,
he's like, we buried him here because we're sick fuckos.
Yeah, I know. Right? We buried him in the backyard next.
Jesus, don't buy their corn.
You know, he said we buried him in the backyard next to Mom, like where we were gonna bury you if you ever fucking came back and shit. You know,
it's so dark.
Yeah, well, it gets super dark because he's just like, yeah, like, you know, my wife basically tells me that I got to stop fucking sending you messages, that I got to let you go. That, like, he's like, I don't even know if these messages are fucking going anywhere, man. And it's just like, oh, it started getting so sad. And
McConaughey's killing it.
Yeah, dude.
Killing it. Yeah. Crying straight into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It made me cry straight into the camera.
Oh, that point got me, but that's not the point that made me cry in this movie. But it got close. It got close. And then you get that Casey Affleck 1-2, and then here comes Jessica Chastain as a grown
Murph, baby. Murph has been, I don't know if she's been eating that corn or what.
And tell me that they didn't find like the perfect actress to play the little girl that they look so alike.
It's kind of like Cece and New Girl, like the young person, Cece is like, holy shit, like that totally looks like young Cece. Yeah, that looked like young Jessica Chastain.
Girl, yeah,
she was great too.
Oh yeah,
who's Mackenzie Foy?
There you go,
killed it.
Yeah, so all of a sudden Murph comes up and she's just like, I don't know, like fuck you, buddy. Oh, she tells him like, oh, you told me, like, it was her birthday, and she was like, you told me that like you'd come back and we were gonna be the same age, and he's just like, well, now I'm the same age that you were when you left, and you're still not fucking here. And she's like, starts crying and shit, and then Oz starts crying. I start getting a little fucking. A little tickle in the old eyeballs, you know.
To me, it hit me more when the son,
right? When
he was like, because it's so true. Because you're like, dude, I'm just a crazy person. I'm just talking into the void. You're dead, bro. Like the chances, the reality is most likely you're dead.
Yeah.
And I'm literally talking to a dead person. Mm-hmm. That's what crazy people do. And my wife says I too am crazy, so peace. And he's just I'm here, motherfucker.
I know. Yeah, like you see him like nodding his head like, oh.
Like, no, you're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong. Dude, I've been got an hour. No. Beat the shit out of Anne Hathaway. I'm fucking done with fucking family-less bitch.
Yeah. And then from there you catch up with Jessica Chastain, with Murph's character, and she's working with Michael Caine, who is not looking fucking good, man. He's in a wheelchair. He looks fucked.
He left the cane.
Yeah. There he is. Prince of puns.
No more cane. He's got a wheelchair now.
Michael Wheelie.
Yeah. Michael Chairs here.
And then so she's been trying to help him figure out the fucking gravity fucking equation and shit. And then she figures something out. She's like, wait a minute, you've been like fucking doing the problem wrong and shit. And then you see him get all defensive. And he said, I don't want to talk about this shit, yo.
You're hell wrong right now. You're not even close.
Shut up, Ginger.
Yeah.
Your father left you.
Yeah. Orphan. Fucking orphan.
Fucking orphan. Gee. Yeah.
Henny over here.
And then so back in the fucking McConaughey ship, they realized that for the fucking 27 years that they were there, they burned so much fuel that now they don't have enough to go to all three planets and then go back to Earth. So they have to pick one of the planets. One of the planets apparently has fucking the last person that Anne Hathaway gave an HJ to or ZJ to, and she really wants to go.
Something. Dude had that magic dick. Yeah, she was I will put humanity on the line for one more ride on that shit.
And
that's a rocket man.
And if they had actually done that, if they had just listened to her at that point, even though she was wrong about the reason why she wanted to go to that planet, but if they had, it would have been okay.
Well, anyway, let's take a quick break. I want to freshen up my drink here, and then we're gonna come back, and we're talking about Foreman.
Foreman, all right.
Foreman makes an appearance, motherfucker.
Fuck yeah.
Anyway,
it's about to get good.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Refreshed, ready for more.
Back, baby.
Yeah. So at this point, we're basically,
Water Planet was no good.
Yeah, they were just like, look, our feet are gonna be wet all the time, so no. And then
engines can't handle it.
Yeah, and then Anne Hathaway's like, I want to go to the planet where my boyfriend is, and McConaughey's basically like, fuck you. How about no? How about you ruined everything and out of spite, we're not going to see your boyfriend. And it wasn't out of spite. So he was just like the numbers say, like, this is the one to go to. Like, your boyfriend hasn't been sending back any reports anymore. This other Dr. Mann has. That's literally his name, Dr. Mann, right?
Yeah, and he's been saying like, bro,
yeah,
it's chilling here.
He's
like, a little icy at the top, but once you go below the ice, you're basically in Hawaii.
Yeah, it's like it's fucking perfect here. And then and McConaughey's like, and don't you think that isn't this guy like your hero or something? And she was like, yeah, he's like probably the most fucking brilliant man I know and shit, but fucking love conquers all. So
plus his data as well. Edmonds, that's the other planet. Edmonds' data is like that one. The data says this is Hawaii.
Yeah, this one's more like Earth.
Yeah, but man is saying, I'm here. It's the shit.
Yeah, he's actually communicating, but homeboy over there in Hawaii is no longer, like, I don't know, volcano took him out or some shit.
Yeah. So that's why McConaughey's like, we can't. It could be that crazy.
Yeah.
This dude's talking to us. At least we know somebody's there, and he's saying positive shit.
Yeah.
We can formulate a plan once we're there.
And then
As long as it's not Damon, we'll be fine.
Hathaway throws a bitch fit and just walks out of the room. And McConaughey just makes the decision. We're going to see Dr. Man, okay? If you're gonna want to bang somebody, it's gonna have to be either me or fucking what's his name? Remy, or what's his name? The other guy? Riley? I don't know. Anyway.
My God, why am I?
I believe so. Riley? Rip? I don't know.
Romilly.
Yeah, so you're going to have to bang one of us two.
It's a weird name. And Romilly's already like 50-something at this point, so he might have some trouble.
I got abs and shit.
McConaughey's like, well, this made it way easier for me all of a sudden.
Unless fucking Romilly has like a fucking piece on him, right? That's just like, doesn't matter how old you are, you know?
If it still works.
That's true.
No.
It's got that space dick, right? It's like, I can't get hard in space.
Dude, Edmund's got that fucking piece. I mean, I'm telling you, fucking Anne Hathaway is willing to put humanity on the line.
Oh, you're right about that. You're right.
One more ride on that North Pole.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
That's a good day. Or maybe he eats out good or something.
Yeah.
He does something very well that she likes.
He's a good cuddler. He listens to her stories.
I'm a good cuddler. I've got that compliment.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sweet. I'm sweet. Little sweetie pie.
There's no shortage of cuddling here at South Bite Studios.
Oh, we cuddle.
We're pro cuddling.
Yeah. People charge money for cuddling
in
New York City. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I'd pay for it.
Oh, dude, I see the girls that charge for that. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. A little half an hour sesh with you.
Mm-hmm.
A little huggy hug.
Yeah.
But it would suck because, dude, come on. You cuddle with a cute girl.
I mean, I
expect.
You know what's just going to happen, right? You're just going to... Cuddling is getting your hand swatted away like 15 times when you're
40 no's and a yes. Still a yes. Dude, Daniel Tosh has that joke. He's like, come on, everyone knows that no doesn't mean no. No means you try the nipple and the neck and then whatever.
So work on the nipples and the neck and try back.
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, respect your partners, everybody.
Yeah, don't do that.
Be playful. Know each other's boundaries.
Yes. Cuddling.
Hathaway
is not aggressive.
Look at that haircut. That's not even good, man. Anne Hathaway's got a fucked up haircut.
I know.
McConaughey says, I'm Coop.
I know.
We're going to Man's Planet. Come on, it's called the Man's Planet.
Yeah, we're literally going to Man Planet. I know it's woman's history. But
we're going to the Man Planet.
Yeah, we're going to Man Planet. Why don't you shut up? Okay.
They get to the Man Planet.
You don't get a vote here.
This ain't America no more.
Mm-hmm. You don't have rights up here. Anyway, we don't mean that. So they get there and
no, actually,
ice planet.
Before they get there, Murph messages Coop.
Oh, right.
Finally, after all the years, she reaches out and says, "You know what? Your homie's dead. Bye."
No, she actually reaches out to Anne Hathaway's character. She informs.
She's still a bitch.
She informs him.
Give it up.
Oh, also great.
It's been like 80 years.
Also, great fucking scene when Michael Caine is dying.
Yeah.
In his death, he's acting the shit out of it too. He does a really good dying man.
Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah,
I don't know why he turned into David Attenborough.
He's like all crying. They made him look very sickly, and
they're like, just be yourself, Caine.
Yeah, and then so Jessica Chastain's like, Murph is like right there, like, you know, by his side as he's dying, and he's just like, bro, I fucking lied to you.
He's like, Rosebud.
Basically.
Like, what does that mean?
Basically, he's like, yeah, like, straight up, I lied to you, and plan A, the fucking save all the people here on Earth, was never a fucking... it was never a possibility.
It was just a feel-good thing.
Yeah. It's like there was
You
never
gotta raise 5,000
there was
kids.
never plan A. I literally like tricked your dad into driving that fucking spaceship out there, and they're not supposed to fucking come back.
Which also in this, and then she questions, did Cooper know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, she asks if her if her dad abandoned her, and then
He couldn't just say no.
he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
And he recites a fucking poem that gets recited like 3 times in this 4 fucking times in this movie. That whole dying of the light fucking poem.
That's so stupid. He could have just said nah. He didn't know.
Yeah,
And she would have felt
dude.
so much better.
Exactly.
You're dying, you asshole.
Fucking prick, right? Eat this bitch's mind.
Yeah, make her feel better. Because he didn't.
He didn't know. And then so anyway, fucking Hathaway gets this message. We're skipping ahead. Matt Damon fucking...
No.
We already went through Matt Damon?
No, she gets the message before Damon.
No, Matt Damon's right there when the message is up.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, that's when they're showing up.
So they get
They
there.
show up to Hoth.
They get there and fucking ice planet. They got ice clouds up. The clouds are frozen.
That was one of the
motherfucker.
things, that was Neil deGrasse Tyson's biggest complaint.
Really?
Said those ice clouds, they technically wouldn't have been solid at that area.
And we've already said how probably Neil deGrasse Tyson should shut the fuck up, right? So whatever.
Well, even he was saying like, I'm grasping at straws. Like, this shit's pretty perfect.
Yeah. So they get there and super ice planet. It looks like the North Pole everywhere. And then they wake up Matt Damon, who just immediately starts fucking crying on... It's Matt on Matt action, right? It's Matt Damon crying on Matthew McConaughey.
Well, you went into that deep sleep kind of assuming
You were not
that's
gonna-
it. Yeah. So it's like being woken up from the dead in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's...
They literally say that. It's that on the nose. There's like a literal fucking line where he's just like, the last time I set the sleep thing, I didn't even set a wake up date. And he's just like, you literally rose me from the dead. That's like, they literally say it.
That's got to be shocking.
Yeah. And then I really like that line that Matt Damon says, like, dude, like, I hope you never know, like the feeling it is to, like, see a human face after, like, not having seen somebody for, like, forever. Like, you hope you don't ever have to experience that shit.
Yeah. So then they're like, well, what's up, bro? It's hella icy.
Yeah.
We can't live here.
And then
He's like, that's cool.
No, he's like, of course we can. This is our new planet. Guys. I'm gonna send the fucking cavalry, whatever.
It's dope. Like, we just gotta put up some igloos and some shit. A little space heater here and there, and it's all good. Global warming, we'll do it here too.
Mhm.
It's cool.
Yeah, but no, that was not the case.
Like, let me show you.
Yeah, so there's he like shows them a bunch of data, and they're like, all right, cool. And then basically McConaughey's like, here's the deal, like, I need to get back home. We found, like, I did what I was supposed to do. We found the planet. I drove you here. You guys are gonna start anew. Like, let me fucking get back home to Lil Murph and Casey Affleck. You know, they've been through some shit. And Michael Caine's dead now, and John Lithgow died like forever ago.
No, he's corn fertilizer.
So I'm gonna need that. And they're like, cool. Like, you could totally do that. And then Damon, bum, all of a sudden he's fucking evil, and he faked all the fucking data. And he was just like, you know, he gives this speech about being like, you know, for a while he thought that he could just, like, you know, die there or whatever. But then he was like, nah, bro. Like, he sent the fucking signal out, come pick me up. And he fucked everybody fucking over, man.
Yeah, he was lying the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying it was cool just so someone could probably come save him. When they did, ice pick to the helmet.
Yeah.
So Coop's struggling.
Yeah, so he fucking tries to fucking kill McConaughey and fucking
It's not all right.
No, and then he tries to steal his fucking. He steals the ship. He blows up fucking. What's his name?
All of a sudden, it's like Fast and the Furious in fucking space.
How dare you?
They're fucking docking on this thing, and they're maneuvering.
Well, that shit's awesome. So,
Looks
fucking
great.
Matt Damon. I don't know. He like rigged his robot to blow or something. I don't know exactly how that explosion happens.
Yeah, he said he had to like kind of, because he also had a case type robot that he had to dismantle to keep alive, so Romilly goes to see like, what can I do to this dude to fucking get him going, get some fucking data out of him, and it's fucking jihad all over.
Yeah, he's just like, what the fuck is this shit? And then he blows up.
Fucked up. So we lose Romilly.
Yeah. And then Hathaway goes and saves McConaughey, because fucking Matt Damon like cracked his fucking.
Yeah, hit him right in the fucking plastic of the helmet.
Yeah.
So whatever this
with
planet's
his own
atmosphere.
helmet, and his helmet doesn't crack.
That was nuts. He was like, it's a 50-50 shot. And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
but again, Matt Damon has gone crazy.
Yeah,
his character is not.
Oh, he says like
thinking.
a 50-50 shot's like the best chance I've had like in a really long fucking time, bro. I'm gonna take it.
And he wins. He wins.
Oh, and then he's like all suffocating, and then he's just like trying to talk him down, and he's just like, you know what, my bad. I thought I could like talk you through this or watch you go through this, but it's kind of bumming me the fuck out. So
Pace.
I'm just gonna leave you there to suffocate. But fuck that. Anne Hathaway fucking saves his ass. And then the robot fucking saves the day because he fucking messed up the autopilot or something. So Damon can't dock. He can't dock with the main ship because they're like on these little like.
Yeah, a ship floats outside of the planet, and then they take a smaller ship down.
Yeah, and then so he takes that ship back up to the main ship, but he can't dock. But he doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, I'm gonna eyeball it. Okay, I could do it. And as far as like the movie shows it, like he got it right. It just wouldn't lock in.
They said it was different models. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a different model, so they weren't designed to attach to each other anyway.
Okay, yeah, I missed that. But yeah, so he's trying and he like forces it. And he's like,
it's like, you know, when you're drunk and it doesn't get hard and you're just like, I need to complete the mission today. And you just kind of smush it in there. He did one of those moves.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, Matt Damon did a whiskey fuck.
And
the actual term used by NASA, by the way.
Yep. Jessica Chastain's
I looked
character.
it up.
Came
Look
up
at that
with it.
chin, powerful chin and nose. Jessica Chastain, very, very.
God bless her. If you want to see her naked, watch the movie Lawless. just so you know.
Putting that on the list.
Yeah, so fucking Damon blows up like Samuel L. Jackson
She's from Sacramento.
in the middle of a speech. She's from Sacramento?
Yeah.
God bless her.
Or even closer to her.
Closer to our hearts. Yeah, so fucking Damon goes. He fucking blows up, and then McConaughey's just apparently like the fucking greatest pilot of all time, and he's just like, because now they were in this really cool ship where like there was a space shuttle, and then there's like a bunch of fucking like, I don't know, like other things that surround it, like a fucking sphere or whatever thing. It was a rotating ship.
It rotated to create gravity.
Yeah. And so that shit's fucked up. And it's spinning around like crazy. So Matthew McConaughey has to spin his ship and match the speed of the spinning thing so that they can fucking dock. And that's the part where they took from 2001. Like that's a really iconic scene, that like space dock with exactly what they're doing right there. But except in this one, it's like fucking spinning like fucking crazy. So it's like a little bit more of a higher stakes version of the 2001 docking scene.
That was one of those scenes that when it finished, I realized I hadn't breathed the whole time. I was just like, holy fuck.
Dude.
I was just like grabbing my sheets and just like.
As I was watching this movie, it's like I basically knew like where it ends up. But I was still like, oh my God. Like, it's like, I know how this movie ends, but I'm still worried.
Well, and you got the Zimmer score in the background, just fucking bringing the tension up to 1,000.
Which he did not win the fucking Oscar for this movie.
For best score?
No. I wonder who won it. Not much.
It must have been a musical movie or some shit that came out that year.
The Grand Budapest Hotel won for best original score.
What?
That's crazy.
I have to watch that.
Me too.
I've never seen it at all.
I've seen parts of it. It's good.
Yeah, I hear very good things.
But I can't imagine.
How does it must sound amazing. I'm fucking, it better sound amazing.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
That might be one of those, like, those silences people could have been like, oh, no. And to me, the silences were part of the sound.
Yes.
Not having that sound actually was part of the sound, as stupid as that or weird as that sounds.
Well, it, like, kind of takes you, like, I don't know. Like,
it made it real. Space.
Yeah, because you're hearing, like, the score, like, and then they just go to space, and all of a sudden there's nothing. And you're seeing these spaceships move, and you're, like, expecting noise, but there's just nothing, and you're like, what is going on here?
And that's how space would be.
Yeah.
I know we see Star Wars and all that shit, and it's all explosions and sounds, but if you're in space, unless you're somewhere with like an atmosphere where you can, that you can walk around, if you're floating around, there's nothing for the sound to bump into. That's what sound is.
Yeah.
You ain't hearing shit. In space, no one can hear you scream.
I was about to say it, you son of a bitch. Oh, man. Anyway, so they fucking dock with their ship again. They're like, look, we got one fucking shot. Obviously we can't make it back to Earth now. We gotta go to your fucking boy's planet, Hathaway. You might get that bean fucking flicked after all.
You win. You win.
You bitch.
He's not gonna want you when he sees that haircut.
I know. So but they don't have enough fuel. So McConaughey's fucking grand plan is that he's gonna get like really close to the black hole and use its atmosphere.
He got that shit from fucking Jim Lowell and Apollo 13, baby.
You think so?
Yeah, because I remember when they didn't have enough gas to come back to Earth, so he's like, we're gonna use the moon's gravity to slingshot us down to Earth.
All right.
Tom Hanks rules, baby.
Okay, so they
Jim Lovell.
They Hanksed it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
They Hanksed it, and then so they were going to use, because they had like those two little backup ships, they were going to use them as thrusters to like, they were going to get pulled into the gravity, and they were going to use those to like fucking push them away from it or something.
Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So the things were going to push one way, which was going to push the ship the opposite way, and it was going to work.
Well, yeah. And then what fucking McConaughey didn't tell fucking Hathaway is that he's in one of these little ships. He didn't tell her that because they had to get rid of.
You need to push one thing in one direction for it to go in the other. Mm-hmm. So what are you pushing away?
So it was about weight, right?
Yeah.
So that the ship would have enough weight to make it. So he had to get rid of his ship, and he basically just goes into the black hole and then sends her off to her fucking boyfriend.
And Tars too.
All right.
They treat him so like a slave.
Yeah, Tars.
And he's dude, I'm a robot. I'm here to serve, baby.
Tars is fucking down for the fucking cause.
Fuck yeah. He's like, funny as fuck too.
She was just like, dude, you're just gonna fucking kill Tars, and he was just like,
I'm here to.
And he was like, that's always the plan, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah, he was like, fuck. Well, that's what's cool. Is like, dude, I'm a robot. I know I'm here to serve humans or whatever kind of thing.
Well, he says that he's just like, are you gonna fuck, like, because he says like, yeah, we're gonna just throw like TARS through the black hole, because he is now the only hope that people in Earth have.
He's gonna send out information, what he sees.
Yeah, because they figure out, Jessica Chastain figures out that in order to solve the gravity equation, they need to see the other half of a black hole that they've never fucking seen before. They need that information to fucking figure out the equation. So McConaughey's like, we need to send TARS through there, and hopefully, fucking fingers crossed, he can find a way to send that information to Earth. It can solve the equation, and fucking bada bing, bada boom.
You got Chastain saving humanity.
And then Jeff Goldblum drops the fucking paper, and then he says, "Checkmate."
We needed a Goldblum. That's why I only won one Oscar.
How fucking dare you?
Had no Goldblum.
I wonder. I think Independence Day won an Oscar too. They're 1-1. Interstellar and Independence.
Probably the same one too.
Best special effects. I don't even know. Independence.
That was
Day
good.
won.
That was good special effects.
Some of them.
More sugar.
That's Men in Black.
Dude, oh my God.
Jesus.
Men in Black should have won best special effects. I don't know. When did that come? 99 as well?
I believe it was 97.
What better have won?
No, probably not.
Independence Day also had a really good show. I still use Will Smith's character is always late in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's late to get married. He's late for a bunch of shit, and his excuse is always, I like to make an entrance.
All right.
And I still use that to this day.
No.
Yeah. I use that all the time.
I don't like that. Don't do that.
I love that shit. I like to make an entrance. Yeah, when they're getting married in the hospital or whatever.
All right.
And she's like, I'm not going to show up. And he shows up. He's like, I like to make an entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. That's the Fresh Prince, baby.
Anyway.
So we're slingshotting. TARS is going to go in, hopefully save people.
Yeah. And then so fucking
shit goes wacky.
Yeah, so he goes into the black hole, and then that's also just a really fucking awesome scene too. And then you don't know what's gonna happen, right? It's just like, yeah, he's going into a black hole. The way Neil deGrasse Tyson describes it is, you should be like vaporized.
Spaghettification, they call it. You get stretched out.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's supposed to happen to you, but. That black hole there was put there by they, and they like spare him, and they tell him to eject from his spaceship at a certain time, and then he just ejects, and he's just
first time you ever hear of an eject function on this. But again, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a fucking
Damon didn't use it, but okay.
He didn't have time. He didn't have literally.
They didn't even tell him about it. They were like, "Shut up."
No, they were trying to tell
Not
him.
man.
Yeah, so he's just floating in space for a while, or in darkness, and then he just comes up on this like really weird.
It's called a tesseract.
Tesseract, there you go. But it looks like, I guess, a tesseract. Yeah,
it's a bunch of squares connected by lines.
Yes, and then
it's a representation of the fifth dimension.
Mm-hmm. Which is, it's supposed to be.
It's a theoretical place, because the 4 dimensions are space and time. So space takes up the 3 dimensions, of course. Mm-hmm. X, Y, and Z planes, as we all know, as we've learned since grade school.
Yeah, fuck yeah, we did.
But there's actually a 4th dimension, which is
time.
That's why we call it space-time. That's Einstein and all that shit. But they say there's a 5th dimension.
Well, theoretically there could be a 5th dimension,
or infinite numbers even.
Yeah,
that's what I believe.
Right,
String theory, baby.
Yeah. So then, if that would be the case, then time could literally just be laid out in front of you, and you could just
pervert's dream.
You could just access your own timeline. You could go to any point,
back and forth.
Yes,
that has already happened.
Yeah, exactly. Throughout your whole timeline, you can choose to relive stuff or whatever.
Well, and because of that, you can affect your future self.
Right.
Terminator. I'll tell you, this is John Connor up in
yeah.
this bitch.
So it takes Cooper a minute to realize what's going on, right? Because he just falls into it, and it looks really cool because it just looks like weird shapes. But as he gets closer, it's
so well done.
It starts to look like what it is, and then you realize that it's a bookshelf. It's just a bookshelf, like over and over again, and like lines in blackness that Matthew McConaughey's hovering over. And so he's like banging into it. You don't know what it is at first, but I mean, you kind of start to figure it out, and then
you figure it out before he does.
And then he he hits it really hard, and a book falls, and then he realizes that he's on the other side of the bookshelf. And that it was he that was fucking Murph's ghost.
Oh, Sixth Sense, baby! Oh, damn, it was Bruce Willis was a ghost the whole time.
Yeah. And so, I think I only watched this movie once when it came out. And so, like, I had forgotten about that. So then when I watched it the first time, then the message that the bookshelves leaves is stay. I got super sad right there. I was like, oh no, he's already telling him, like, dude, don't go. It's not worth it. You're just going to fucking let your kids down, man. And so, yeah, so he realizes, and then Tars is all of a sudden like, around somewhere too. And he's talking to him. They're kind of figuring it out together. And then they realize that they is actually them in the future. That
as in us.
Yes. That, sometime in the future, humans or civilization evolved to having that fifth dimension. And now it's helping this guy save the world. Essentially, or save the species.
Where does Lilu Corbin come in? That's what I'm asking.
Right.
Because there's a fifth element, then the fifth dimension.
Yes.
Do they ever come together?
Yes, and Gary Oldman is in that movie. So
and Bruce Willis was in Armageddon. Which also takes place in space.
Yeah, Tom Hanks was in Apollo 13. Should we keep?
And the slingshot thing, dude. It's all connected. That's what I'm saying. Christopher Nolan doesn't have skill. He just takes other people's things and puts them together. He's a good put-togetherer. He's like a puzzle maker. He doesn't make the puzzle, but he just puts it together.
He's a stylist, right?
Yeah.
He takes all the materials and he just knows how to make the room look good.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to make it fabulous.
Yeah.
He's just a good art decorator.
I think so.
How dare you?
I think so much less of him now after this hour and a half.
I fucking dare you.
Get better. Jonah Nolan for life.
Ah, wow.
Christopher's is whack.
What a hack.
Fucking foreigner.
Yeah. But anyways, yes. So Cooper figures out, so you figure out that he's the one that left the coordinates so that they go off to NASA, which is, it's a fucking paradox, right? It's just like, he needed to do that in order for him to go to space, but it's just like, just a mind fuck.
And
chicken or the egg, which one came first?
Right, because if he would have listened, that would have never happened. He would have never got that code.
And
so he wouldn't have listened. There would have been nothing to listen to. Well, he would have never got the coordinates. Yeah, so everything.
Or maybe it would have been. The mission would have gone on without him and another pilot. Who
would have fucked it all up? He couldn't have done the spinny trick.
Yeah, right.
He would have died. Matt Damon would have killed that guy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was like, "Whose house? Run's house." I just saw. You can't get Dogma on streaming, and it's not on print and DVD.
I think you could probably buy copies of DVD on like eBay or something, but it never came out on Blu-ray or anything.
Yeah. They're not making it anymore, and it's not available for streaming.
I'm sure it'll come out someday. Fingers fucking crossed. But
they had a bunch of links on YouTube, and on Reddit, and they were all fucking Rick Astley. They had Rick rolling everybody. They're like, dude, but you guys don't know that Kevin Smith released a version on his channel. Here it is. And then it's Rick Astley.
Wow. Sons of bitches.
Again.
So
You are the ones who are.
the ball lickers. Fuck, let's get to the end of this movie. So fucking what happens? They bookshelf save the world. He figures out that these beings, and it all turns out to be like the power of love, right? Like the fucking Back to the Future song. That's the power of love.
I was thinking of what's love got to do? Got to do.
No, come on.
What's love?
And Back to the Future also has to do with like time travel. This kind of has to do with time travel. Yeah, he's messing with time. So,
well, and it's possible. That's what's so cool.
Right.
Everything that they're doing. Yeah, theoretically, everything they're doing is possible.
Yeah. So,
improbable.
Yes.
But possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the fact that going into a black hole and then you'd get into a tesseract where you could fucking see your life in physical form, that's
probably not gonna happen.
Yeah,
you would die. You would die.
But all those things are possible, just probably not all in the same scenario.
Yeah, you would die a lot.
Yeah, I know. We turn into fucking silly putty.
But if you believe in these kind of infinite timelines, infinite universes, kind of things that these physics say are once again theoretically possible, that also theoretically means that you did do that. Mm-hmm. You and I accomplished that at one point.
Damn.
Not this version. This version is not doing as good. Unlikely, but possible.
Yes. There's an infinite amount of possibilities, and one of those we're bound to be geniuses. Yeah, right.
That sucks that we're in this one. Like, why are we in this one?
I think we're like in the sweet spot, right? We're not fucking. We're not fucking with time or anything. We're not traveling into space, but we're also not like, living through some like fucking post-apocalyptic fucking cannibal world.
And we're time traveling in a sense that 100, 200 years from now.
I thought you were going to say milligrams of marijuana can make you feel like you are traveling through time.
I'm going to keep trying that once we hit stop right now. But we'll be here. 100 years from now, 200 years from now, our voices, our opinion will be there. So we would have essentially our thoughts traveled time.
Do you think that when we die, it is just us going to that other dimension, gaining that extra dimension?
It could be. Well, it could be because, so this is what I think the Big Bang is, and I don't want to get into too much about my physics thoughts because I don't know shit.
Kaylee Cuoco is like so fucking hot. So tell me your theory about her.
Dude.
Go.
Well, I found her in 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. That was when she first came to my radar, and I immediately fell in love with her. I mean, she had that other sister that was like the rocker kind of rebel chick that has her own hotness, you know, a Kat Dennings type of attractiveness. But Kaylee Cuoco had the more traditional blonde, ditzy, wore short skirts.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm with you on that. One.
The dad was fucking
John
Ritter, and then the mom was fucking the mom from what is it? Love and Marriage.
Peggy.
Peg was the wife, and she was also still banging.
Oh yeah, I think she probably still is somewhat attractive.
Hot.
Anyways,
so I think there are parallel universes. Like I was telling you, I do believe in infinite possibilities and infinite us's, and I think there are parallel universes, and at some point these universes, they're moving.
Mm-hmm.
And when these universes sometimes touch, and when these universes touch, it creates such a huge explosion of energy, and it invents a whole new universe And I think that is what we perceive as the Big Bang.
Okay.
Because we don't know what's before that. And I think before that is everything.
Whoa.
It's already existed, you know. And everything is recreated
But
when
it's also
everything's touched. Yeah, it's also very much nothing. And so that's what I think, what we perceive as the Big Bang, that's just one of these infinite universes touching and creating a whole new infinite
tips.
universe. Mm-hmm. They're docking if
to keep it into the terms
exactly.
of the movie.
When two new universes dock, it creates a new universe. 4 billion years later, you have me and you sitting here drinking beer talking about Interstellar.
Yes. And fuck it. And we got to get through this. So McConaughey gives so he has TARS and he has the formula to save the Earth. And so all he has to do is give it to Murph. And he knows that, like, you know, they have this special bond, and her love for him is gonna fucking help her figure. She's also like a little genius too. She's been a genius since she was like a fucking 10-year-old.
Yeah, because she's getting a ghost giving her all the answers.
She's cheating.
Yeah,
her dad is helping cheat.
It's a fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's true. And so because he gives her a watch when he's going off into space, and he's just like, oh, these watches are always going to be the same time, blah, blah, blah. So he gives her this watch, and then so he puts all of the fucking the cheat sheet on the fucking one of the...
Yeah, because she knows Morse code.
Yeah.
Because she had been reading the fucking ghost signals.
Mm-hmm.
So he sends her Morse code through the watch.
Yes. And then she figures it out. She fucking saves humanity. And then he just like he accomplishes his goal, and now it's like it just kind of ends. Like the place he's in ends, and now he's just floating in space. And somebody saves him like minutes before his air fucking...
Like you're driving by the highway and you see a sleeping bag moving, you're like, what the fuck? And it's like, holy fuck, it's McConaughey.
Yeah, and so he's on Cooper Station and shit, and he thinks it's like named after him and stuff. And they're like, nah, it's actually named after your fucking badass bitch daughter, dude. She fucking saved us all.
Futurama.
Yeah, and I would be like, I fucking saved you all. Okay, so why don't you shut the fuck up and rename this after me?
You know he stole that from Futurama, right?
He stole that from Futurama. Come on.
Yeah, Fry's brother.
Oh, God.
Yancey Fry he sees like this statue for his brother and all that. His brother, like he thought his brother took all his hype because his brother was always jealous of him. But it turns out his brother loved him so much, he named his son after him.
Mm.
So that Stephen Fry that's getting all that love is not his brother trying to fuck with him. It's his brother showing admiration for him.
There you go. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Nolan is a thief.
I don't see how. No, that doesn't. It's not the same. Any fucking ways. So then he basically tells her
they're floating by Saturn.
Yeah, so they're in this really weird ship that like is like a sphere as well, and like,
have you seen Halo? Like that's how it's like the halo going around.
I never played
like
that
big circle.
I never played that trash, but yeah, I'm sure it looked good.
Yeah, well, it's a big circle.
Yeah, it's a big sphere, and it's like neighborhoods, or like somebody's playing baseball in one side, and it hit a home run, and it hits a fucking house that's like above them or something. And yeah, and it like looks really nice. Everything's fucking clean. Fucking Murph fucking saved everybody, and then they tell him like, you've been... The slingshot around the fucking black hole cost him another 57 years. So he's already been gone 20-something, add another 50-something. It turns out that at that point, when he wakes up, he's like 120-something years old.
Looking 42, though. That's what's up.
Uh-huh. And
he's like Moses.
Yeah, and then so they tell him, like, Murphy... She's on her way here. She found out about them finding you. She's on her way. She's been in cryo sleep for like 2 years, and she's basically like, when she gets woken up again, she's basically gonna die. She's basically been waiting for you and shit. And then so the scene with Murphy at the end of the movie, that's what fucking broke me, dude. That shit fucking, I couldn't handle it. Because she's so happy, and then now she knows, like, the whole time she was like, he didn't leave me, and it was him all along trying to fucking help me, and she's like completely forgiving him, and then like
ghosts aren't real.
Yeah, and then fucking what does he say? I don't know what he says, just something like about like why'd you wait for me or whatever, and then she's just like, oh, cause like my daddy made me a promise or something. I was like, and fuck, and he's like all holding her hand, and he's crying, and then she's just so happy to see him, and fuck, dude, that really fucking gets me. And then
she says, okay, that's enough, leave.
Yeah, well, all of her loved ones, all of her children and nephews, grandchildren, whatever, they're all standing there, and then she was just like, dude, I got everybody that loves me is like here, like, you shouldn't, like, no parent should see their children die, so like, don't worry about me. I have everybody I need. Like,
get laid.
Yeah, you need to go. Don't watch me die. Go save Anne Hathaway, who's
her hair probably grew out by now. She probably looks way better.
Probably looking pretty good. Take some makeup with you.
Yeah. It's a tropical planet. She's got a great tan.
Mm-hmm. He's like, go save or go join her. She's at this new world, like starting our new civilization. So you need to go catch up to her. Like you, and then it's like you guys are basically on the same timeline, so you guys are gonna be the same age. You guys have been experiencing the same time length, So go get her, bruh.
This dude hasn't fucked in like 80 years.
Right. Oh God, I know. And then so
do you think you feel that? Like if you went down to that planet, you came back 7 years later, does it feel like you haven't fucked in 7 years?
I don't think so, right? I mean, in theory.
Or does it feel like an hour?
Yeah, I feel like that's the...
Your balls are all huge.
That's the crazy thing about this movie. Other than like, not counting the time that they're in cryo sleep and that the gravity made them live way more years, he probably like lived a couple of years in this. Like for him, it was only a couple of years.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
like
his mission worked out really well.
Yeah, like it wasn't that long.
Fucking pretty perfect.
Like it was 2 years for them to get to Saturn when they were gonna go to sleep to get to or whatever to get to the fucking wormhole or whatever. So that took 2 years, and then the rest of the movie, other than when they go to the other planet, I feel like it doesn't take that long. It's probably only a couple more months or weeks, even. Like,
well, and they're in a whole different time frame too. So yeah, it could have been weeks for them.
Yeah, and yes, I feel like he misses out on his whole life, but literally doesn't, because he only lived a couple of years. He's still only 40 something or like 50.
But now the Earth is dead.
Yeah,
it's like Leia with no planet.
Damn. Anyway, that's Interstellar. Fucking loved the movie.
And Tarzan Case both make it.
Oh yeah,
robots live.
I know. I do.
One dude went to a black hole.
We talked about this movie for a really long fucking time. When we didn't talk,
it's a 3-hour movie.
We didn't talk about large aspects of this movie. We glossed over a bunch of shit. But yeah, that's the gist of it. If you haven't seen this movie and you have yourself a big fucking TV, do yourself a fucking favor. Have a fucking edible, smoke a fucking joint, throw this puppy on. You're not gonna have a bad time.
And Topher Grace is in it.
Oh, Topher, fucking Eric Foreman himself.
Yeah. Little weenie fucking boyfriend. He's a good little, like, again, Chastain plays that really strong character, and he's the little kind of weak, like, ooh, your brother's coming after lighting the fire. I can't fight him.
I think Casey Affleck could kick my ass.
Yeah, he was being such a weenie in that.
He got a fucking tire iron, like, I'm gonna have to fucking kill your brother in order to...
He had no idea who started the fire or anything. You immediately gave that up when you were like, "I'm gonna kill you."
Oh, he would have known.
Well, you could have talked and done. I don't know.
No, he was pretty hysterical.
I wouldn't have just been like, "Woman, your brother is here. I'm scared of him."
He was pretty hysterical. He had already punched him. He punched him before.
I would say Ben is the more talented motherfucker.
Ben has Oscar.
Yeah.
Actually, Casey Affleck won an Oscar for acting. Something that Ben Affleck will probably.
You're trying to be in a Matt
never
Damon
get.
movie because your brother is friends with him? You can't do it.
They all fucking are in movies together. Casey Affleck and Matt Damon have been in several fucking movies. He was in Good Will Hunting too, wasn't he? Casey
Hunting
Affleck?
Day?
Good Will Hunting 2.
Hunting Day, right?
No.
Isn't that what it's
Hunting
called?
Season.
Hunting season. There we go. Yeah, that's their best shit. Dogma, bro.
I fucking love Dogma.
Whose house? Run's house. That's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's greatest work. They're so good in that. They work so perfectly.
Absolutely.
Before J-Lo fucked everything up.
Let's not turn this into the Dogma podcast. All right. Well, that's fucking Interstellar. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this is gonna rank on the fucking list. Cause
It's a good one.
This is probably gonna be the prettiest movie on the list, right? When it comes to the
Yeah, I don't know if you can get better than this, man.
to the most good looking shit put on screen. I think this is the best looking movie.
In 20 years, people are gonna watch this and be like, "This still holds up. This looks really good."
This is 2014. That fucking black hole scene is like that might as well have been.
Still looks perfect.
Might as well have been made today.
Yeah, it still looks very fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's not like this aged badly. Fuck no, that looks amazing. And outside and stuff, it took like fucking a year to do it. That's fucking why.
That's 3 months to render 1 second. 1 second. 3 months.
Anyway, we'll tune in next week. Follow us on the social media, on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you follow the other podcasts on the network, Salinas Underground Podcast, and 831 Comadres. The Nakama Boys are out there with all your anime needs.
I still don't know what they talk about, but people love it.
Yeah.
They're great.
So
listen to them.
If you're into anime, go out there and listen to the Nakama Podcast. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Adios.
Peace.
The Electro and Bono Movie Power